Welcome to Cities Skylines and the city of Portmont. I thought I'd start with this view from this hill at the top here over the city. You can see I'm starting to develop problems, but I'm not too worried about that because I'm going to have to do something quite dramatic to the city, because what I want to do in this part is unlock the oppression office, which means we're going to have to get 50% unemployment. Now, as far as I know, the only way I can do this is by being very destructive to the city. But so at first I need to deal with a couple of issues, because I was just checking this. My garbage is nearly 90% full. So what I'm going to need to do is, I think I'm just going to put a second garbage structure in there. And maybe what I've done up here is I've put a disaster recovery. Do I want garbage up here? Because that could actually affect. I think we're just going to go with the second garbage there for the moment, because I am going to tear the city up. You can see I'm getting abandoned buildings. It's not going to be a problem, because what I'm going to have to do is de-zone this area here. But before that, what I want to do is, what we got here new building wise, we've got one cemetery, which should be okay. We've now got a medical laboratory. I'm not sure where that came from, but I'm not worried about that. And what I'm going to do first is I'm going to expand this out here. Like that. And then I'm going to expand this out 3 and come in here. And we're going to up like that, come in here like this. This will make sense, don't worry. Because what I'm going to do is take advantage of doing this unique building to reshape my city and expand it in this direction. So I can hook that up there. We've got that there. I'm just going to check the water supply, make sure water coverage. Just want to get this ready. I'm also building up a little bit of cash. Okay, I think I'm ready for it now. What I'm going to do is start by de-zoning into this area here. Now, what you're going to be is a little bit careful that when you're de-zoning, that you don't disrupt the power supply too much. So I'd like to leave this area here so that I can reshape this area. In fact, what I do need to do is push this down here like this. So I'm also going to be reshaping these zones as well. I'll push this zone down here. Kind of would like to push this industry a little bit, one more block further south, like that. Because if I take that off, you can see the farmland here. Now farmland is at a bit of a premium. In fact, I think we're going to take that out as well. And you can see I've lost the power connection here. I just need to connect across to there, get that running. And what you do is you come here. So we've now got our unemployment up to 16%. And what I'm going to do is de-zone this way. What I'm going to do is just keep creating the unemployment by de-zoning. And I'll say eventually this is going to be a farming area. And this is something you can do. I mean, somebody posted a comment about building cities, and I think one thing I've always noticed, I mean, I watch a lot of YouTubers building cities, and I know there are people who start off with unlimited money and go out to build their perfect city from the beginning. But one thing I've noticed about YouTubers that start from the beginning is there's a very fixed approach that, say, for example, like this city, they will keep this pattern all the way through. So from the very beginning, they start to build their perfect city, and sometimes that can actually trap you. What you really need to do is think a little bit more dynamically, in the sense that all cities have evolved over time, especially here in the UK, because if you actually walk around cities, you can see how cities have evolved and changed over time. There's areas that are still historical, other areas that are done. And of course, one of the big opportunities that was presented after the Second World War and the Blitz is, I mean, I used to live very close to a city called Portsmouth, which is on the south coast, and the whole centre of Portsmouth was flattened during the Second World War. because they were trying to bomb the naval dockyards. And what actually happened is afterwards, the city took as a bit of an opportunity to rebuild the city and replace something. I mean, they didn't destroy everything in the city, but they did reshape the city. And Southampton is another example, which is just up the coast. The whole heart of the city was completely bombed out because the bombers used to come up Southampton water to try and hit the docks. They used to overshoot and actually the bombs used to land in the city. So if you actually visit Southampton, you will see that the actual core of Southampton, except for a couple of notable landmarks like the Bargate, is modern, or well, modern as in circa, let's say, the 60s and 70s. There are very few original buildings in the centre of Southampton. The reason for that is the whole centre was completely flattened. And now, getting back to City Skylines, this is something you need to think about, that there's nothing to say that just because you laid out an industry area here or a residential area here, that it's got to stay that way. I mean, you can chop and change things as much as you want and flatten things. There we are. So we've now got to sustain this for 5 weeks. Hopefully my economy will hold up, and we got a bit of demand there. I mean, I could slip in a bit more. I think we're going to keep this little bit of commercial along this edge here for the moment, and we're just going to sit this out and just keep an eye out on here. Right, this is far, wow, and we may need a bit of an issue there. And can I open another? I can't unlock another tile because I unlocked that there. I mean, I'd really love to change this junction here. Maybe once I've got this unique building unlocked, our next objective will be to recreate and rebuild this area here. Now, I've got this area here, and this will eventually be farmland, which will be a mixture of the vanilla type farmland, which is specially zoned, I think it's in here, and actually the specialized industry from the Industries DLC. But to start with, what we're going to do is just keep this the way it is at the moment. And I've now created this area here. We've got this small residential here. We've got demand for commercial. How are we doing? We got there yet? Oh, we dropped below 48%. Okay, thank you. That's because the population is growing. So we're going to have to... I mean, this is one of the problems with doing this. What we're going to have to do is take off another wedge off here and get that back up over. Yeah, I mean, this is the reason why you need to do it in a reasonably sized city. Or a smaller city, actually, not a reasonable sized city. Because as the city keeps growing, actually, let's just go a little bit dramatic. And we'll probably have to bridge over here with power supplies. If I hook up across there to there to there. And I could, just to force the issue, I do want to take out some of the population over here. So maybe we can make the population fall as well. And then what I will probably do is bring the residential area up here. So what the way I'm thinking, guys, is we'll have the farming area. Yeah, I mean, that residential area is there. We're having a cushion here, which will give us a noise barrier, which eventually will be offices. Yeah, so I think that will work. Right, so yeah, we're back over 50% again. And there's a power bridge through here. Got a fair trade centre here, quite hanging on with grim death. I think what we could do is just take the opportunity to look at our police station there, power station there, medical clinic. If we put a medical clinic just in there, that will jump that power line over there. So I just need to be a little bit patient now and see if we can keep the city alive. Yeah, 2 weeks, 3 weeks to go. My view. Oh, great. Okay. Arc time. Just create that power bridge over across there. Yeah. Maybe. How's the education go? Just try and keep the city running there. So the moment, because I've driven the population out, everyone's kind of a little bit happier. Maybe we can drop a fairly large park in. Actually, put a park there. Won't connect up straight away, but we will need something to drive the city this way. Actually, I'm very tempted to push up that way and No, I think we can leave this area into this traditional park here. Now, one thing I am going to do here, I don't know if we've got the policies unlocked yet. We're going to have a heavy traffic ban and an old town ban there, because what I don't want is for people. In fact, I think what we're going to do is take this and we're going to push this out this way. Now, these are the same zone type, so it shouldn't depopulate the population. But what we're going to do there is put that in like that. In fact, I think we're going to push this out as one big area. Now, the reason I'm doing this is that eventually I am going to connect this residential area to a junction up here. And what I don't want is to create a rat run for trucks to come through here. What this will do is the junction up here will then feed probably a commercial area here with the residential area in the center. So I want to make it very clear from the beginning that this is not going to be a free-for-all for trucks to come through here. Right, so if we actually unlock it, yep, this is unlocked. It's time to get back into getting this city all fixed up. I'm just going to build that up. And what I'm going to do is we're going to start the commercial here. And again, I just want to reshape the city a little bit. I'll leave a gap here for offices. Maybe we'll just leave a little bit of a wedge of commercial here, just to act as a power hookup, just to feed this area here. Kind of. Yeah, I think we can spare that. I'm just going to hook this into here. This area is going to be a little bit empty at the moment, so we're going to have to leave this power line in while the city actually rebuilds and regenerates. I think we'll just actually just had a thought. If I create a new zone here, what we can do is just come through here like that. Magnolia Square, just trim this back a little bit like that. What we can do then is take this into the farming area, and we can start getting some traditional farming up in here, and then that won't be quite so polluting this area compared to this area. We can start to get the farming running, because there is a unique building which does require you to have so much specialized farming unlocked. So yeah, we can get that up and running. We've got heavy industry there, which we can then change. We've got some light farming industry here, a little bit of forest up here, so we could put some forestry specialization in here, so we'll bring the road through here. So probably eventually what I will do is I'll put a clover leaf here, but eventually the clover leaf won't link through here. We'll take that out. So the city is recovering, it's looking good. Just going to let the city build up and strengthen, and the population should recover. This is another thing, guys. Don't be frightened to drop your population. I mean, this isn't a game that punishes you for wide fluctuations in population. I mean, cities can be very robust, and you can do things that and restructure things which then make the whole city work a lot quicker, a lot more efficiently. So this is now building in quite nicely. We've got a little bit more demand for commercial. What we got here, what is this? That's the police station. And of course our next objective has got to be to, I don't think this is the one that's got the specialization. I think we got, yes it is. So our next objective is to get to 7,500, because this is the key unlock if you are wanting to build a city, because once you get to 7,500 you get the high densities, and this is when you can really start to shape and modify your city and make it grow. So we're looking good. We've got some farming coming in here. This will look quite nice actually. And again, I'm not too sure whether I'm going to put the industrial farming specialization in here, actually, come to think of it. Maybe up here. So maybe we'll have the more kind of vanilla type farming specialization here. And then what we can do is reshape these roads a little bit to take the more specialized farming capabilities. Let's have a quick look through. I mean, I haven't gone through all these. We need some more cemeteries, because we've got to fill 5 instances of cemetery. Weekly education expenses. We've got 2 airports, residential zone. Yeah, see, we've got 30,000 squares of industrial zone. That is a big one. That's going to take a lot. Then we've got 7 instances of cemeteries. So we've got to have at least 7 cemeteries. 15,000 children in education. 10,000 full lifespans. Well, that's obviously been wrecked by my antics, but that should build up here. We've got 5,000 of commercial zone. That should be relatively easy to get. And of course we got the abandoned buildings, which will come from disasters. 4,000 tourists. Got winter market, which I don't think we can build. Oh, we haven't got 150,000. And we've got a Amsterdam Palace, construct 600 service buildings, 2 harbours, government office. Wow, that's pretty big. We put a government office in. If we put it about there, get our first unique building in, maybe that will just sit there. See, we've now got a little bit of an employment problem. Not enough workers. I think we're going to need to start thinking about public transport, and what we're going to do is get this down to about here. See what we got unlocked in the way of public transport. We've got trams. We don't have metro yet. Maybe we need a bus service. Where can we put that? Yeah, I think we could get a bus service in. And 40,000. Okay, it's going to be a little bit steep. I think we put the bus depot there. What we're looking for. I think if we have an inner ring here, maybe starting about here, and I think these people will walk down, because this is never going to get that high up here. And I think if we come through here, inclined to come up to here and then come through like that, and use that, put the buses onto the roundabout, as opposed to coming through this junction here. Now, top tip, guys, if you've got a major junction like this, keep the bus stops away from them, because they just don't work. Okay, we're gonna have to, I think what we're going to do is we have to require a little bit of a halt. We have to come this way. Then I think you can come through on the downside. People will walk through, or quite interestingly, in Cities Skylines, people will cycle to a bus stop. One of the mysteries of this game is I've never really worked out where they put the cycle after they get on the bus, unless of course they got a collapsible cycle that actually works. I think that's up, so we're just going to keep the 2 bus routes running at the moment. That will improve the flow. I mean, and get people, and of course it will add a little bit of added value to the city. I'm just going to keep this area here. I mean, eventually this will probably get converted to offices when this gets upgraded to highway. Because what we will probably do is bring this, I don't know, maybe we won't bring the city out here. I mean, that's starting to rise. Mind you, there is a bit of a plateau up here, so we could come out this way, create a roundabout out here and grow the city this way. Right, we've got, I think what we're going to do is we've got industrial area here, so if I put in another, no, let's put a bus route there. Bit weird. Why won't that? Okay, cancel that. Why is this not? I got a one-way street here or something. No. Okay. Okay, let's come in the other direction. Now I do know there's a one-way system in here, so okay, let's take that off. And okay, it's just I've got a bit of a problem here, so it's just I think I may need to sort this out a little bit. Okay, let's just have a look at the road system here. You've got a one-way system. Okay, right, what we're going to do is bring this out as far as we can, and then we're going to connect this through to here. Like, we're going to have to stagger this a little bit. It'll be a bit messy, but we can always change it. Again, this is a road that will definitely be upgraded eventually. Let's hook that off, that through like that, hook this in like that, put that in there, snick off this bit here, like that, and we've got one-way system here. Right, that should now allow me to put a bus route in like that. And we're just going to work you up to here. Certainly don't want you there, so and then hook you through to about there. High school's here. Certainly want to get the high school back into the system. And what we're going to do is see if we can get a loop going here, and then you're going to come right through to there. We can drop you there. Certainly don't want you there, and then we'll hook you in there like that. And right, let's just color code these up. Just put this in here like that, and we can actually see the routes. We've got this route here, which will provide a link for people who want to come down across to the industrial area. What we're doing was still only got 5,800. You need to get the city growing, so I'm just going to put this here. I think we can get a little bit more on this side. We need some more commercial. I think we're going to have to put some of this back into use. Didn't really want to, but I don't think we got a lot of choice, because a little bit more demand for industrial, so we can sneak in a little bit of industrial there from farming perspective. Going to going uphill is going to be a little bit tricky. Just sneak across like that, and then we can just drop you in like that. And I think we can just get a little bit more residential like that. That keeps everything growing quite nicely. People are moving around the city. I mean, the city will recover, so we will get there eventually. I say we do need to get. Looks like we've actually had a bit of a fire here, so maybe I need to get a fire station in here. We've got a fire station there. Don't have a fire station out here. I think if we put a fire station there, maybe another one over here, just to get the industry going. How's the police? Crime rates only very low. Jails availability, we've gained at jails, something we're going to need to think about, but we can't put it in just yet. You just need to get to 7,500 and get the city growing. Let's see what the needs are here. Educate more people, yeah. Again, I think part of the problem is because I have been messing about with the population. What's happened is you've had people moving out, moving back in again, and of course that's affected by overall education. Have a look at the so elementary school's good, high school's good. We got plenty of coverage. Yeah, I think it is very much a consequence of what I've been doing with university, public library. We could push the process forward a little bit. If maybe I can say if I put a public, I really like the public library to be somewhere. Will that fit in? And that would give me really great coverage. I mean, and that might actually, and one thing about public libraries is it doesn't actually say in here, but what will happen is if you've got uneducated people near a public library, what will happen is if there's a percentage chance that if they wander into the public library, they will gain an education level, and it gets more difficult the higher up. But if you've got uneducated people, like here, I've got 4 uneducated people here. If they visit the library, there is a chance that they will become educated, which will then help the city grow. I don't actually recall seeing that fire there. Alright guys, we're just going to need to nurse the city along a little bit. Oops. It looks like we've got a water situation. Let's check the budget. Okay, we've got water problems. Probably need another water tower. We're going to have to carry on. We're not going to get it there. If we push one that way, yeah, you can see that now brings the water availability into line with the sewage availability. So once this drops down again, we're going to have to put another sewage outfall over here, which is going to continue to flood this area here. My instinct is to keep pushing this down a bit. At least we've cleaned this river up. I keep looking at this junction and I feel the need to replace it, and I think I am going to do that, guys. We've got the money for it. I'm pretty sure we got the money for it. Let me see. Yeah, it's 25,000. So what we're going to do is get rid of this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to knock that back a little bit. I've been a bit careful here. If I go beyond the boundary here, I won't be able to reconnect the highway, and that would be embarrassing. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to push this north for the moment. Actually, we're going to go quite. How big's this area here? This area is quite really big. So what we're going to do is we're going to push this up. I just think Got that there, so we can come across like that. That can come out like that. We've got a bit of a hill here. We push this right out, say up about here. Yeah, I think that will work. And we're going to take that, that, and then we're going to go freestyle this way. I know this will look horrible, guys, but again, like I've said before, this is only temporary. I'm just going to connect that up like that, because eventually we will reshape these highways and put a ring road in. There's a very good chance that this eventually will be a bit of a dead end. And I don't want to redo the bridges at the moment, because I don't really have enough cash for it. But what we're going to do is come here like that, stick off this end here, and come in like that. Be terrible, but this is emergency contingency city planning. I'm just going to hook that up like that. And I think while I'm looking at it, what I'm going to do is just upgrade these. And I think it's maybe time to turn this into highway as well. And I'm going to open up these junctions so the traffic flows. And that won't. And that just needed. That won't. That's going to be a bit of a problem. But we can reshape that later on. As this is a residential area, you should do it. So we've now got lots of space to expand out this way. And what we can do now is if I push up this way, maybe it's time to start going a little bit more environmentally friendly. Like that. And come out here. And I'm going to stick you order tad like that. Okay, let's just just a quick pause. This is going to be 8 Newtown. In fact, I think we'll sneak this down like that and become self-sufficient in here. Let's shove that in there, that down there, that down there, like that, like that. It's going to get that running again, and then where's the footpaths? Just hook this off. One thing I want to do is give these people a very quick way to get over here, so that they don't have to mess about here. Yeah. Again, a bit of a tailback here because of this junction. So what we're going to do is take those off, push people into this area here. I think it's now time to take this, and we're going to convert these back to two-way. And what that will do is now move these people away. I think it won't be long before we'll be upgrading this to a highway. We're getting a little bit of a congestion here with the farming trucks. I want to check the zoning. Yep, the zoning's good. Yeah, we will definitely be upgrading this to an elevated highway, which will then probably curve in that way. Oops, we've got no water up here. I'm gonna get the water across like that. Everyone happy, commercials growing. Again, I'm a bit inclined now because the farming area is going to be here. So what we could do now is hook this up here. I'm just going to put this back on. I'm just going to go here. It's going to cause a little bit of extra congestion, but I think it will work. Just going to drop that in there. And I do want to get to 7,500. And right, turn this into a commercial zone. And of course what will happen is people from here will be able to get over. So I'm just going to push that out a little bit. Get another footpath across here. Make sure everyone's really happy. Okay, I'm just going to... And of course eventually we will connect all this up with metros. And we've got... Right, let's just push the snow. Come up here for 40. Yeah, this is definitely going to need to be upgraded. Actually, oops, pause. Bit of a fail here, guys. So I'm going to drop that in like that. And maybe as the farming comes in through there, just have a quick check of the natural resources. I can't see under the pollution. I think it'd be okay. And what I'm going to have is organic local produce up here, and that's going to cause these people to chop and change again, but never mind. I'm sure they'll be okay. I'm going to first leave a few gaps here. We've now got this commercial area here that will feed into this area. We can put a few more people into here if we need it. I'm not going to do it just yet. And then of course, as I say, according to my grand strategy, we will have another junction over here that I could do with an unlock and put the junction out about here. And then again I could put one about here because we're going to need it. No, my instinct is to have the junction about here. And then we can run one down into this area, which would be a pretty unpleasant place to live, but eventually that will be. And then we can come in the back of the city here, create some more industrial zones here. So any natural resources around here. Yeah, we've got some trees up around here. Yeah, we've got a... Well, this is one of the downsides of farming. I think what we're going to do is just going to zone out this area again. I think I've got too much farming in too quickly. What we're going to have to do is use some conventional, stick with the conventional industry, but we've only got 1,000 to go, and then we're going to be able to get access to offices. So I think we can ride it through just at the moment. Right guys, this is where I'm going to leave it. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Hope you found it interesting, especially the unlocking of the unique building. In the next part, we're going to carry on trying to get the last 1,000 population in the city, so that we can then start to work with the high density, start restructuring the city, laying it out, working on education, and maybe looking at unlocking a few other unique buildings. I think this is definitely starting to get to the point where it's going to need an upgrade. I will probably do that off camera, guys, because it will take a little while to put the elevated highway in with the necessary junctions. But until next time, whatever you do, enjoy your gaming.